July 20th, 1969, etched in history, seared into our collective memory. Over 600 million people watched, transfixed, as Neil Armstrong descended the ladder of the Eagle and planted his boot on the lunar surface. "That's one small step for man," he declared, "one giant leap for mankind." But what if this iconic moment, this triumph of human ingenuity, was less giant leap and more elaborate illusion? What if the moon landing, instead of signifying our celestial ascendance, was just a meticulously staged performance orchestrated right here on Earth? The ultimate magic trick? Today we're diving deep into the heart of this controversy, sifting through the evidence, separating fact from fiction, and confronting the question that has lingered for decades. Did we really land on the moon, or was it all just smoke and mirrors? To understand this enduring mystery, we need to travel back to 1969. Picture it. The Cold War is raging, a high-stakes chess match between the United States and the Soviet Union. Every scientific breakthrough, every technological marvel, is a strategic advantage. Then comes the ultimate prize: space. The space race wasn't just about rockets and satellites, it was about proving which ideology, which system, could propel humanity further. When the US landed on the moon, it was a knockout punch, a testament to American ingenuity and might. But for some, this triumph felt too good to be true. Whispers began, doubts took root, and soon a full-fledged conspiracy theory blossomed. Could the US, desperate to win the space race, have faked the whole thing? Was it even possible to pull off such an elaborate deception on a global scale? These questions, once relegated to the fringes, continue to echo through the decades, fueled by a potent cocktail of Cold War paranoia, mistrust of government, and a dash of good old-fashioned skepticism. So let's delve deeper into the claims made by those who believe the moon landing was staged. They point to seemingly inexplicable anomalies in the photos and footage, inconsistencies that they argue could only be explained by an elaborate hoax, meticulously crafted to deceive the world. First, we have the curious case of the missing stars. If the pictures were taken on the moon with no atmosphere to obscure our view, shouldn't the background be teeming with stars, shining brightly against the black void of space? Then there's the American flag, proudly planted on the lunar surface, yet seemingly waving in the breeze, as if caught in a gust of wind. How can this be when the moon has no atmosphere, no wind to cause such a ripple? This anomaly has puzzled many skeptics. And what about the shadows cast by the astronauts and objects on the moon? Some appear to fall in different directions, suggesting multiple light sources, like those you might find on a film set, rather than a single light source like the sun. Furthermore, the photos themselves, taken in such a hostile and unforgiving environment, seem impossibly well composed, perfectly framed, almost as if they were taken in a controlled studio setting. Could astronauts in bulky spacesuits, operating cumbersome equipment, really have captured such stunning imagery with such precision and clarity? Finally, there's the issue of the lunar module's descent. If a powerful rocket engine was used to land on the moon, shouldn't there be a visible crater beneath the lander, a clear sign of its impact on the lunar surface? These are just some of the questions raised by those who doubt the veracity of the moon landing. Questions that, at first glance, seem to cast a long shadow of doubt on this momentous event, leaving many to wonder about the truth behind one of humanity's greatest achievements. Alright folks, it's time to put on our critical thinking caps and confront these claims head-on. We're diving deep into the world of lunar conspiracies and separating fact from fiction. Let's start with those missing stars. This is one of the most common points brought up by skeptics. The reason we don't see a dazzling backdrop of celestial wonders in the moon photos is surprisingly simple. It's all about exposure. The cameras were set to capture the bright lunar surface. The lunar surface, bathed in sunlight, is incredibly bright. This brightness necessitated specific camera settings. To capture a clear image of the astronauts and the landscape, the cameras used short exposure times, which meant dimmer objects like stars wouldn't show up. This is a basic principle of photography. Think of it like trying to take a picture of a friend standing in front of a bonfire. The intense light from the fire will dominate the image. The flames are so bright they'll overpower the faint light of the stars in the background. This is exactly what happens with the moon photos. Now, about that seemingly waving flag. This has puzzled many people over the years. There's no lunar breeze at play here, folks. The moon has no atmosphere to create wind. The flag was designed with a telescoping pole to give it that unfurled look, and the ripples we see are simply the result of the astronauts manipulating the pole during planting. This design choice was intentional. The fabric was designed to hold its shape in the vacuum of space, creating the illusion of a flag waving in the wind. This was a clever engineering solution. As for the shadows, the uneven terrain of the moon, combined with the single light source of the sun, can create some pretty funky visual effects. These effects can be misleading. It's all a matter of perspective and the angle of the light. Shadows can appear to be inconsistent due to the rugged lunar landscape. Photographers manipulate light and shadow all the time to create dramatic effects, and the moon's surface naturally does the same. The interplay of light and shadow can be quite dramatic. Well, the astronauts were extensively trained in photography, learning how to frame shots and operate their equipment even with those bulky gloves. This training was crucial for capturing high-quality images. Plus, they took a lot of pictures, increasing the odds of capturing some truly stunning images. The sheer volume of photos taken ensured some would be exceptional. And finally, the mysterious case of the missing blast crater. This has been a point of contention for many. The lunar module's engine wasn't designed to blast a giant hole in the moon. Its purpose was to ensure a safe landing. It needed just enough thrust to slow the descent and allow for a soft landing. The descent was carefully controlled. The moon's surface, while covered in a layer of dust, is actually quite solid. So a massive crater wasn't expected or necessary. The solid ground beneath the dust layer prevented a large crater from forming. Chapter 4. Beyond a reasonable doubt, the undeniable evidence. Okay, we've tackled some of the most common conspiracy theories, but the evidence for the moon landing goes far beyond debunking a few blurry photos and wild speculations. We're talking about tangible, testable, independently verifiable proof that stands up to rigorous scientific scrutiny. Let's start with the souvenirs. Over 382 kilograms of moon rocks brought back by the Apollo missions, each one a piece of extraterrestrial history. These rocks, analyzed by scientists around the world, have a unique composition, distinct from any rocks found on Earth, providing irrefutable evidence of their lunar origin. They serve as a geological fingerprint, a testament to the moon's alien landscape, with features that simply cannot be replicated on Earth. And then there are the retroreflectors, those laser-reflecting panels left on the lunar surface by the astronauts. Scientists use these to this day to measure the distance between Earth and the moon with incredible accuracy, a feat that would be impossible without actually placing them there. If the moon landing was faked, wouldn't someone have noticed these handy devices conveniently appearing on the moon's surface? Their presence is undeniable. But perhaps the most compelling evidence comes from an unlikely source, the Soviet Union, our fierce competitors in the space race. Remember, they were our rivals in the space race, and they were meticulously tracking every move of the Apollo missions with their advanced technology. If there was even a hint of a hoax, don't you think they would have been the first to expose it? To turn the tables in the propaganda war? Their silence is telling. The fact that they never challenged the moon landing speaks volumes, adding yet another layer of credibility to the undeniable evidence. Chapter 5. The human element. Why a cover-up would be impossible. Look, I get it. Conspiracy theories can be seductive. They offer a sense of order in a chaotic world, a feeling of knowing something that others don't. But sometimes the simplest explanation is the most likely one. The moon landing wasn't some grand illusion orchestrated by a shadowy cabal. It was the culmination of years of hard work, dedication, and the combined efforts of thousands of scientists, engineers, technicians, and astronauts. To believe that the moon landing was faked, you'd have to believe that all of these people, from the technicians who built the rockets to the astronauts who risked their lives, were willing to participate in a massive cover-up. You'd have to believe that not a single person, not a single disgruntled employee, ever came forward with the truth. And that's where these conspiracy theories fall apart. They require a level of secrecy and coordination that's simply not humanly possible, especially in a field as collaborative and transparent as space exploration. Chapter 6. The Legacy of Apollo Inspiration, Innovation, and the Future. The Apollo missions, whether you believe in every detail or not, represent a pivotal moment in human history. They pushed the boundaries of technology, ignited our imaginations, and inspired generations to dream bigger, to reach further. The legacy of Apollo isn't just about footprints on the moon, it's about the spirit of exploration, the relentless pursuit of knowledge, and the power of human collaboration. It's about the realization that we are capable of achieving extraordinary things when we set our minds to it. So the next time you gaze up at the moon, remember the men and women who dared to dream of reaching it, who dedicated their lives to making that dream a reality. Remember the ingenuity, the courage, and the unwavering belief in the power of science and human endeavor. The moon landing wasn't just a giant leap for mankind, it was a testament to the indomitable spirit of exploration that resides within us all. Outro: keep looking up. So, was the moon landing real? You be the judge. Weigh the evidence, consider the science, and don't be afraid to draw your own conclusions. But as you ponder this enduring question, remember that the universe is full of mysteries, of wonders yet to be explored, of truths waiting to be uncovered. Keep questioning, keep exploring, and never lose that sense of awe and wonder about the cosmos. And hey, if you ever meet a conspiracy theorist who insists the moon landing was faked, just smile, give them a knowing nod, and tell them, that's one small step for a conspiracy theory, but one giant leap backwards for critical thinking. Keep looking up, my friends. The universe is vast, and there's still so much to discover.